Oh, Christian, you're unmuted.
Yes, I'm really, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, now I'm nervous because Debbie and Nadine and Palika's here. So I didn't prepare much, but I just wanted to, yeah, just like what Suki said, I started sharing last time about what's been happening, and that was actually my highlight in October. So I wanted to kind of like talk a bit about it. I prepared like a few slides to show you just some pictures and a little bit of more information about AGU because, yeah, I think not everyone knows about the American Geophysical Union. So I'm gonna try. Oh, thank you. Gonna try. Oh, I need permission to screen share. It's
Oh,
prompting
there you go.
me.
Who can share? Okay. It should be okay now.
E. There you go. I hope you can see this um, screen
Yes.
of mine. Okay. So yeah, this is the Voices for Science program. This is under AGU, which is American Geophysical Union. So basically, American Geophysical Union is a big organization. They are not mostly active in the US, but they also have a lot of programs globally because they are a scientific organization. So they are quite infamous in publishing. So if you heard about like journals and scientific research being published online about anything earth science related and space science, so basically they encompass everything here in our planet and also outside the planet. So they have a lot of publications. That's where they first worked on as a scientific publishing organization, but they were under um like a government. They are like a non like an arm of the scientific I think I yeah, so it's like they are an organization that is an an unofficial partner of the National Science Foundation before, and then they were founded around 1970s, and then they got incorporated maybe 40 years ago. So I'm not pretty like well versed with their history because they just also gave us like some briefing before we started our workshop last September. But yeah, this picture of a building that you can see on the screen is actually their building in Washington, DC. I wanted to mention it because this building is actually a LEED certified building. It's super cool to be in, to be inside. So yeah, it's super optimized for it to be sustainable. It conserves a lot of power. They have the roof is fully covered with solar panels, and then the the top floor is actually an open space with a lot of plants in there. So like any flowering plants and some vegetables as well. So some of the AGU members can go upstairs, relax, or just like pick some vegetables if there are there are some. But when we went there, it's kind of like dry because nobody was taking care of it at the time. But this building is also, they do sustainable. Their water is all recycled. It comes from rainwater. They collect rainwater, and then all of the toilet flush water that they use are also recycled water. So this is like one of the highlights of the tour that they gave us of the building, and I hope I can visit this building again and like learn more about how they constructed it and basically how much it cost because I know this one's very expensive. Oh, so yeah, American Geophysical Union started as a scholarly publisher, and then they kind of expanded because there's a lot of niche inside what they want to publish, and so scientists began making like in CCL like action teams, and now there's a lot of groups inside AGU. So this Voices of Science fellowship that I have is actually under the Communications and Policy Department because they do a lot. It's not only like Voices for Science. Voices for Science is a 1 year fellowship, but they have like a continuous fellowship that goes on, like a congressional local leader one. So that's for Congress. And Voices for Science mostly involves in talking with Senate offices. And then there's other local um, outreach for community and policy that targets the grassroots in local communities like council members and governors and mayors. So they have a lot of volunteers. These volunteers of them are mostly scientists that wanted to fight I don't want to use fight, advocate for for science. Yeah, for science, for basically uh, open data science, fundings, research, continuation of all the helpful studies, and especially in terms of like medical and sustainable engineering and environmental conservation and habitat. So everything, even space science, as I've mentioned before. They also have career advancement and fellowship programs, which is they try to incorporate in all of their fellowships, including the Voices for Science one. And then yeah, so their Voice for Science is not, it's relatively a bit new, but it started in 2018. And every year they choose 20 cohort members in the US and then 20 global cohort, because they have also people that wanted to get involved from outside the United States. And these people um, advocates for their local government. So they also set up meetings with their local governments. And similar to the cohort here in the US, they also, they have certain policies that they advocate for. And it's tailored to where or which country they are coming from. So it's very interesting. We haven't met them yet, but there are like programs in the following months for us to have like a virtual program all together. So every cohort every year meets each other and have like a network and some kind of connection among us. And yeah, this fellowship is actually not just a one time thing, it's a year long program. And one of the one of the I would say benefits, or like one of the tasks that this program needs for us to do, is to continue doing outreach and expanding our not just advocacy, but you know uh, expanding our knowledge in the area of science that we are advocating for or that we are interested in. And most of the participants that I met during the September workshop was of PhD students and then professors. Um, what else? I think I'm the only one who's not in the academe that attended during that event. So I'm kind of like, oh, I'm having imposter syndrome. I don't know if I fit, or like I'm getting shy and all. But all of them are like super cool, and a lot of them are super young. So I'm like, well, I'm so like I feel so young, and very very excited for all of them, because most of them are is still pursuing their PhD, but they're already doing great works. And I think they have like a super awesome foundation when they joined AGU. So it's super exciting for me, and also got a lot of connections and made some friends along the way. So how I ended up signing for AGU is because of her. She's Colleen. I think Debbie knows her. She's also CCL member. So I met her in a conference in UC Davis like 3 years ago. And she's also the one who told me, so you have some free time, so why don't you go sign up for CCL? And then I signed up for CCL, and then the rest of the story. I started being active with some of the action teams, and then she told me that AGU, because the company that she works for actually is a partner of AGU. So she told me, "Oh, AGU has like a cohort this year. Why don't you try applying?" So of course, I'm a good friend. I followed her advice. I wasn't really expecting, because yeah, like I mentioned, they receive a lot of applications this year. Not just this year, but every year because they are like super big organization. I wasn't really expecting that I will be the one who's chosen. But I think it is because of my CCL background. I really do, because what they wanted was people who are actually involved already with like some sort of grassroots movements, and even though most of us are like scientists and just like technically growing up inside the laboratory, they are already aware of the policies and issues that we wanted to advocate for. So I think my when I signed up, I in one of the questions that they asked, so what makes you a best candidate for the fellowship? I really told them that I'm a volunteer in CCL. Here's what I did. I had an experience in last June with a meeting with congressional offices, and now I am as much as I can, actively volunteering with several action teams and getting involved in my local chapter and all. And I think being a part and a member of CCL really boosted that application that I did. So so I'm thankful to CCL, and I'm also thankful to Colleen for like winding up to me like this information. So yeah, the workshop was a 2-day program. It's flight and accommodation sponsored. So I basically, yeah, of course, go. So they sponsored our flight and our accommodations, and then we during the 2-day workshop, we focused on the key provisions that we wanted to like talk about with the senators staff meetings. And what is unique also that I haven't experienced in CCL when I attended the lobbying is we have a staff assigned to us from beginning to the end. So they pre-grouped us. Most interestingly, I am the only one from Washington State, and they grouped me with the Texas state. So I got to go to the Texas staff meeting, and I'm like, oh, whoa, it's super different. Because the Washington meetings basically just ran like, these are like the provisions that we support. Do you support this? And the Washington one is like, yeah, sure, we support it, and it's actually in the agenda. Because if you really check the provisions, some of them are actually sponsored by the Washington senator that we went on and met, but the Texas senators are kind of like senator staffs are kind of like, okay, so we'll take note of that. It's really entirely it's a very like unique experience for me getting to visit um let's say like a conservative office. Even the office feel is different. The way that they have pictures and flags in there that I don't understand. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But it's something that I will treasure and like always look back when I think of the learning experience that I got from the workshop and from the lobby meetings that we did in the up in the hill. Also, I wanted to note that we were in Washington D.C. during the declaration of the shutdown. So it's like we were like texting each other during the night and like, are we? Is it already shut down? We're still here. Can we go back? And we're worried that just all the people will just like go home because they are not getting paid and all. But thankfully, we weren't stuck in DC, and all of us were able to go home. So yeah, these are like, I'm not really gonna like go in deep into this, but if you want a copy of the one pagers of AJU, I can share it with you. But I'll just discuss the asks that we had for the meetings. So number one is the support for the fiscal 2026 bills. It's kind of ironic because we lobbied for this during the shutdown, like the looming shutdown that morning. But this is actually like trying to get consensus from our senators and from our senator's office for them to support this appropriations bill, because it was explained to us that the current budget before the shutdown was still from 2024. They haven't even approved the 2025 one. And the 2024 budget is not yet adjusted to like increase budget to anything. So basically they're running the same budget for every department, and what we wanted to have is for them to for it's just like for to let them know that the science community is watching out for them to approve all of these fundings that we are recommending, especially for research purposes, like for NASA, for NOAA, USGS, and NIH and DOE. So super important agencies for the science community, because these are the agencies that actually deploy funding for grants and research and all. So this is the number one um, provision that we wanted to let them know. And then the next one is this is this is very close to my heart, the Keep STEM Talent Act in the US, because I have a friend that works in NIH. We're both Filipinos, and she actually is a bit worried because even though she has a contract, it's not sure that her grant is kind of can continue. So she's kind of worried. So when I went there, I told her that I'm gonna go to the Hill and advocate for you because you deserve to be here. You're super talented, and she's super smart. She researches on Alzheimer's disease, and it's before this year she was slated to employ a lab assistant, but she wasn't able to do it. And now her one of her research has kind of like totally shut down. So she still has a couple of grants she's working on, but it's very limited for her at this time, and it's kind of sad because her contribution, not just like her current contribution, but her future contribution is field in the field of brain degeneration is actually super important. So yeah, we wanted to let them know that we wanted their office to kind of think of um, legal and easier pathways for STEM talents that are not US citizens to stay here in the US and continue contributing in the US economy. And not just in the US economy, but of course in the research and science field of the US, because I mean, so far US is still the number one in producing like, a high quality research and scientific materials. But if you look at stats and data, some of them, no, not some of them, most of them are actually international students. So we wanted to for it to be easier for students to stay here and explore more opportunities. It's like after you've stayed here, studied, PhD, postdoc, and then after that they're gonna send you away. Like it doesn't make sense for us to just be sent away after being trained, after having all those skills, and they're just being kicked out. So where are they gonna go? I know several of my cohort actually they're being snagged by Canada already, and, and yeah, they still want to stay in the U.S., but don't have any path for them. There's no path for them to stay, so that kind of discourages them. And as a human being, they need to earn something for their family and also like a pathway for their careers. So if somebody asked them, some other country wanted to sponsor them, they will surely go if the US will not keep them here. So that's the second provision that we advocated for. And lastly, yeah, this is the Weather Act Reauthorization Act. So it's a big provision, it's a big bill because it has a lot of smaller bills in it here. Yeah. So it's a Weather Act Reauthorization Act. It's advancing everything focused on climate and resilience. It basically is NOAA and EPA and NASA research. So this Weather Act Reauthorization Act, like I mentioned, it has a lot of smaller bills in it, and this one is a little bit of a hot topic in the Texas office. in the Texas Senate office that we went to, because the head of the department that this provision was actually endorsed to is actually Ted Cruz. So we had high hopes that Ted Cruz is kind of like that. Ted Cruz staff is gonna like mention the science communities. Wanted him to approve this, but apparently Ted Cruz's office is actually the one holding the approval of this bill. So it's already been reviewed, it's been presented, it's been reviewed, but his office is the one who's holding it back. He's the chairman of the committee. And then my senator, Senator Cantwell, is her co-chair, is his co-chair. But my senator cannot do anything if the chairman of the committee doesn't want to endorse it. So this is also a little bit of a when we were talking about it, although his staff is super informed, she's also before she went into policy, she was also like a researcher, she's also scientist, so she kind of understood where the science community is coming from. But yeah, she of course cannot say anything that can assure us of 100% approval of this, but we're still hopeful that even though it's kind of I don't know. The issue was there are several bills in here that they don't agree on. I don't know which one, but yeah, we were just like, if you don't agree on any in one or two aspects, why don't you like convene and talk about it, and then we can fix it, right? And like meet in the middle, and So yeah, this also is very important, not just for me here in Washington State, but also like the rest of the United States, because this is this bill is more on resiliency and preparedness, and a lot of things that will help us during times of crisis. So here's just a couple of pictures. I just took this from the AGU LinkedIn. So there I am. Here is a meeting with the Texas office, and we're with the staff. Here is Mike Villafranca, the staff that got assigned from us from beginning to end, and he kind of like guided us all throughout, from like learning about all of the provisions and walking around the Senate offices, because like the Congress offices, it's so confusing. So you need to like go upstairs, elevator, go to the tunnel, and go to. So yeah, he was our guide, and you can see my cohort here. We're super diverse, and I met this lady. She is from Idaho, and we had a lot of talk because we are technically in the same region. So we had a lot of like great talk about politics and um, climate, and what's the problem in Idaho, what's the problem in Washington, and all. And then there's a couple of people here that are also from Oregon that we also had kind of hit it off when during the social time, because yeah, same region, people are talking. Especially like it's almost the same happening during um, rainy season in here in Oregon and Washington. And yeah, here is us commuting from from the AGU building to the Capitol Hill, because we wanted to have that experience. So we didn't have like any van or any dedicated vehicle for us, because AGU advocates for sustainability. So they really wanted us to experience the commute, and also, of course, save some don't pollute any greenhouse. And yeah, here's some of the members of my team, and then at the very bottom here is my friend that works in NIH. So yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thanks,
Uh,
Christian.
let's share. Okay.
Are there any questions for Christian? So you're gonna be doing this for a year then, right, Christian?
Oh yeah, but it's not really extensive. It's not a monthly thing that we are going to the Hill and advocate for. There is a program, a set of activities that they've set for us, like workshops, more on professional development, networking, and then some trainings and research, and a couple of conferences too. So not always going and meeting with politicians.
That's awesome. Sounds like an amazing program, and
Yeah, I
and I
really.
can see I can see why they chose you because you're, such a good communicator and,
Oh,
enthusiasm and articulate. So
thank you.
they made a good choice.
I always think that I don't communicate well, and I always think that I get misunderstood.
Mm,
But yeah, maybe this AGU experience that I had
mm.
actually boosted my confidence a bit. So I'm
Well,
grateful for
that's
it.
great. That's great. And so it's not all lobbying, but there will be other uh, occasions when
Yeah,
your group will be lobbying on
especially
different topics.
yeah, especially the upcoming conference in December. That's their
Mm,
biggest conference ever.
mm,
Every year. It gets attended by different science communities and also organizations that do science research. So I want to go, but it's a week long program,
mm.
and it's in Louisiana. So
Ah,
I haven't been to Louisiana, but it's a week long program, and I'm currently serving in AmeriCorps right now
oh,
here in
oh, wow,
Washington. Here
wow.
in Department of Natural Resources in Washington for the aquatic
Oh,
reserves. So I
mm,
don't know if I can get away with a week long
ah,
attending
ah,
the conference. I'm kind of sad. I've
ah,
been wanting to meet the cohort
mm,
again, but
mm.
yeah, maybe another opportunity.